Hey man, so I got this idea for a talk show. You're a Rockets fan, I'm a Spurs fan. I figure, why don't we start discussing basketball and we give our takes in this whole rivalry? What do you think? Well, I guess if we're gonna do this thing, then we gotta hit record.
So this is the first episode of Plus 71. Plus 71, episode 2. Nathan Budnett, episode 6. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Nathan Budnett, episode 7. We got a lot to talk about today. Season 2, and I got an amazing guest with me, CJ Hoop Talks. So Nathan Budnett, episode 14 with my man Swiss Eel. Jeremy, go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
And it's time for Nathan Budnett.
Budnett, episode 54 with my man CJ Hoop Talks. He's the first guest of the year. Episode 55 with my man JX Remy. Hey guys, so I hope you liked that little edit I made to kind of commemorate 5 years of the channel. I could have probably edited it a bit better, but I wanted to get it out before the end of the year, and my editing software was also just not cooperating with me because, as you could imagine, my computer does not like downloading every single thumbnail I've ever made to it, along with hour-long podcast videos in order to make that edit. So I did what I could. I probably could have made it a little bit better, but I still hope you guys enjoyed. I may be being a little bit too self-critical of myself, but let me know what you guys think of it. But you can see in the clips there, even just looking at my face, how long 5 years can be. You go all the way back to the first videos that I put out, and I'm clean shaven and everything, to now whenever I've got sort of this mat of hair, and then the beard and mustache and stuff that I've kept for a few years, because I do think facial hair looks a little bit better on me. But it's been a while. I started this with Fernando, and I've talked a lot about how great it was to get back into contact with him, because I started this thing with him, and again, I've mentioned multiple times that the whole reason that he left the podcast and everything, and it took us a while to get back in contact, wasn't because of any beef situation. I try to mention that every time, because new viewers hear that I started the podcast with somebody and then he left, and they think it's some fallout. But no, he just had some personal stuff going on, and he had a lot of health concerns as well that he brought up whenever we reunited and stuff recently on episode 71, so you can go check that out. But yeah, he just had a lot going on to where he couldn't do the podcast, and I really wanted to continue this thing. It was really interesting to me to kind of have a platform and be able to just speak my mind on sports and other things, because I'm a huge history and math nerd, as you guys that have been on the channel can probably see, and I wanted to apply that somewhere. And so being also a big basketball guy, I mean, it's the sport that I bond with people over, because I'm not a huge football person, I'm not a huge baseball person. I don't really watch any sport in general besides basketball. And so I thought it would be cool to sort of apply stats, mathematics, history, all that kind of stuff to basketball. And it's been really interesting, and it's been a ride. And I put together that edit with all of my thumbnails and different clips because I think it really shows like my improvement. That sounds egotistical, but sort of my change throughout the years. I think I've gotten better with my thumbnails, with my editing, that sort of thing, and I'm creating higher quality stuff, which is what I want to do. Throughout years of doing anything, you're bound to get more practice and improve. And I'm glad that these 5 years haven't really gone to waste, because I'm in my office basically every single day. And again, I have like my own 9 to 5 on top of that. I'm not at the point, unfortunately, where I can do YouTube full time yet. And so I still have a normal job outside of this, which means I'm at a computer at my job for 8-9 hours a day. And then I come home and I'm at the YouTube computer for another 8-ish hours a day. And I really appreciate the people around me that put up with that, because again, it can be exhausting to maintain sort of a relationship, whether it be friendship or like with my parents, with my siblings, and especially my girlfriend who lives with me. Dealing with a person that is sort of away or distant for that much amount of time. But I do try to sustain those connections where I can. But I really appreciate them for kind of understanding, in a sense, that this is a goal that I want to work towards, and therefore, for any goal, you have to put the hours into it. And seeing that sort of progression, I guess I should say, it's really great to see that like there has been sort of an improvement and again progression, rather than I'm putting every day 5 years into it and it's still like 5 view videos that are just spit them out, low quality edited stuff like that. And yeah, I like seeing my progression. I'm glad that a lot of y'all have stuck along for the ride. And with what I was saying with sustaining like connections and everything, that's whenever I want to take that and kind of go into my little rant and stuff. If you guys don't want to hear all this, you can always skip to the timestamps that I leave in the description and on screen here. But it's kind of ironic because I had this idea for a video back in like early this year, because I knew that after this year it would be 5 years of this channel. So I already had the idea to make this video back in like February. I just started making it in like November though, because I wanted to get all the stuff from this year before I started making it. But the reason I bring that up is because it's ironic, because I already had this video I was going to make. And then Doug, who's a creator that I follow, drops 7 years of Doug. And I was already planning on calling this video 5 years of Nathan.Net. And now I feel like people that watch both of us are going to think that I named my video based on his, or a lot of the things I'm about to say are based on what he said, which isn't the case. But I bring it up because we have very similar points to talk about. And Doug has the luxury that he can do this full time. I already addressed like that with me, but it even further hammers home the point of like everything I'm gonna say, which is, it's, as I've mentioned before, in the community post tab and in other videos, it's been difficult sometimes to balance this as well as my health and other priorities and maintaining those relationships and stuff like that. So I am going to try and work more on that this year. And this isn't New Year's resolution type stuff, because I knew New Year's resolutions sometimes are pretty cringe. But it just so happens that I want to set a new goal, and I wanted sort of a decent starting point. And I feel like January is a good starting point for like to see like where the start and end time is. But I do have some changes to the channel, and I do have some changes to myself that I want to make. So I'm gonna make some changes to my health. I know I addressed that previously this past year, and I didn't really stick to it, but I'm really gonna try and stick to it moving forward. But I am also going to have the goal that I want to try and put out at least 3 videos a month, whether that be 2 scripted videos and 1 podcast, or 2 scripted and 1 podcast, or 1 scripted and 2 podcasts. I think I said that right. And I'll do something like that. On top of that, I'm going to be posting podcast highlights as well. Y'all may have seen that with my Giannis video. So it's not much of a secret, people that have been on the channel for a while, that my scripted videos, because they're like research videos and they're more fine-tuned, I guess is the word, that more people view those videos. And then the podcast is more for people that like have been on the channel for a while and just kind of want to watch me, which I really appreciate. So I'm hoping those podcast highlights kind of get more people to the podcast. If you just know me from my scripted videos, I do encourage you to kind of go check out those podcasts. Along with the podcast itself, is going to change a little bit. Some of y'all may have already seen this on the recent episode with CJ Hoop Talks, but I'm gonna try and not rant as much on the podcast. I'm gonna get more straight into the point and everything, because I feel like, again, that's higher quality. I also did get a Christmas present that I specifically asked for, that I think will really help the podcast quality. So you guys will have to stick around for that next podcast episode whenever I reveal that. But that will also help. And I'm gonna make like just some changes to really up the quality, and I'm gonna hold myself to that standard where I have to. I'm gonna try to release 3 videos a month, and I'm also going to, in my personal life, do a similar thing where I want to hang out with at least 3 people that I'm close with, outside of my girlfriend, because she already lives with me. But whether that be hang out with 2 of my friends and then 1 of my parents, or hang out with both of my parents at different times and then 1 of my friends, something like that. I want to make the same goal where I'm working on both my professional life and my personal life. And I think that's really important. And then along with all the health goals that I've previously mentioned in other videos, I don't want to repeat all that. But I think that's a good balance to set for myself. But also some good announcements for the professional stuff that I know y'all are more interested in, because y'all may not be as interested in like the behind the scenes of Nathan Burnett that I'm dealing with. But I did also want to mention, and I'll make a full announcement of this with the podcast or something, that I am going to try and do 1 live game watch at least once every 2 weeks. So that'll be in addition to the 3 uploads. But basically how we're going to do that is I will make a poll on my community tab, which will have, I can only put four votes on a community post. So I'll pick 4 games for the week that I'm really interested in watching, and I'll have you guys vote on it. And then whatever gets the most votes, I'll do a live watch party with you guys watching that game. So you guys can get more interaction with me, which I think is really important because, again, I really want to build this community and everything. Again, it's just kind of cool. You get like my live reaction to everything. I know Clan the Spurs fan has been doing that for a long time and everything, and I've been meaning to do it. I just haven't had really the time to do it. So I'm gonna try and stick to that, as well as I'm gonna be working more on merch. As well, I know the merch shop hasn't really been updated as much, and also my YouTube plugin to the shop is broken, because usually whenever you have a merch shop, you can plug it into YouTube and it'll show it by the description. So I'm gonna try and fix that. I can't promise new merch this year, but I'm gonna try. But it takes time to come up with the designs, and if I have somebody else come up with the designs, then I also have to pay them. So I usually try and come up with the designs myself, because then I end up liking it better than if somebody else does it. But that's another update. And then I'm also going to, along with that, like the live watch parties, more merch, things like that. I am going to try and have a member page on YouTube. More details will come out with that, along with all these other announcements like the live watch party stuff. But I don't think anything will be member only because of how much time I'm already putting into these videos. But I probably will do like early access type stuff. Like if I record a podcast on Saturday and it comes out on Tuesday, then members will get access to it Sunday and Monday or something like that. And then they'll also get like custom emojis, things like that. And again, more details with that coming out soon. But with that, those are sort of the announcements. And again, I don't want to repeat myself too much with the personal stuff, because again, I know people already don't, like, not as many people listen to that anyway. But again, it kind of the same stuff Doug had said, where it's like, it's very difficult to balance professional and personal life. And I want to do that more this year, but I also want to see this thing succeed. And so, whereas Doug is like retiring and stuff, I'm doing the opposite, which is like, I want to have a good balance, which is something I've been trying to find a lot over these past 5 years as a whole. So it will continue to be a work in progress, but that is something I continue to want to do. And I just want to say, of course, thank you to everybody that has been part of this journey, whether you joined this past year, whether you were here from the start, or maybe you subscribed yesterday and you're watching this. Whatever the case is, thank you for just joining us here, sticking around if you have, being a part of this community. I really do want to build this community more, and I want this to be successful. So if you also want to join more of the community, I have my socials down in the description as well, so you can follow me on Instagram, on Twitter. I have a Discord where you can talk to other people about Nathan.Net and basketball and stuff. So there's a few things that you guys can look forward to in 2026, along with everything else that I talked about. And with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are ready to stick around for this year and several more to come. And we'll go ahead and roll the outro with another Vespid song that everybody, new and old to the channel, should know.